Your brain decides whether a car is dangerous before you even read the badge. It happens in a fraction of a second. You see a shape coming down the road, and somewhere deep in your visual cortex, a judgment fires off. Aggressive, or approachable, threatening, or trustworthy. You didn't choose to make that call. Your brain made it for you. And the strange part is, cars don't have faces. Not really, but we treat them like they do. Look at a BMW M4 and something in your gut reads hostility. Look at a first-generation Mini Cooper and you feel almost fond of it, like it's happy to see you. That's not an accident. That's decades of design psychology, engineering constraints, and marketing strategy, all converging on the same trick, making metal look alive. So here's the real question. Why do some cars look like they want to fight you, and others look like they want to be your friend? The answer involves your brain's oldest survival instincts, and it's a lot stranger than most people expect. Humans are wired to read faces. It's called facial pareidolia, and it's the same reason you see a face in an electrical outlet or a smiley face in a cloud. Two headlights and a grille sit in almost the exact same proportions as human eyes and a mouth. Your brain can't help itself. It maps a face onto the front of every car it sees. Once designers figured that out, they stopped treating headlights as light sources. They started treating them as eyebrows. Look at the Lexus IS or the current Toyota GR Corolla. Their headlights slant downward and inward, narrow and sharp, almost like a scowl. Compare that to a Volvo XC40, where the headlights sit wide and level, calm, almost relaxed. Same basic components, completely different emotional read. But that's only part of the story. Grills matter just as much as headlights, maybe more. A wide, low, snarling grille reads as a mouth bearing teeth. Look at the Dodge Charger's crosshair grille or the BMW kidney grille on recent M models, stretched taller and more vertical than ever. That's not a styling accident. It's an aggression signal, deliberately amplified because BMW's own market research showed that a more dominant front end increased perceived performance, even before a customer touched the accelerator. Here's where things get interesting though. Aggression isn't actually about anger, it's about status. Psychologists have studied this for years in the context of human faces. A lowered brow and a wide jaw read as dominance, and dominance reads as power. Car designers borrowed that same visual grammar because power sells. A Lamborghini Huracan doesn't look angry because Lamborghini wants you to feel scared. It looks angry because your brain equates that face with dominance, and dominance triggers desire. We instinctively associate aggressive proportions with capability, even if the actual horsepower number never crosses our mind. Friendliness works through the opposite mechanism, but it's just as deliberate. Round headlights, wide set proportions, soft, high-arching grilles. Look at the Fiat 500, the Honda E, or the original Volkswagen Beetle. These cars use what designers sometimes call baby schema, the same set of proportions we instinctively find adorable in infants and puppies. Big round eyes, small mouth, compact body. Konrad Lorenz, the ethologist who first described this effect back in the 1940s, found that these proportions trigger a caretaking instinct in humans almost automatically. Car designers didn't invent that response, they just borrowed it. This is where designers became incredibly clever. They realized a single brand could use both strategies depending on the audience. Take Toyota. The Toyota Corolla, built for mass market trust, has a friendly, approachable face. But the Toyota GR86, built for driving enthusiasts, gets narrower, sharper details. Same manufacturer, two completely different emotional strategies, because the buyer psychology is completely different. A family looking for reliability wants a car that feels non-threatening in the driveway. A driving enthusiast wants a car that looks like it could embarrass a Porsche at a stoplight. But why has this design language survived for decades across completely different eras of automotive technology? Because brand recognition depends on consistency of feeling, not just consistency of shape. Porsche's headlights have changed dramatically since the original 356, but the emotional signature, that alert, slightly wide-eyed intensity, has barely moved. Your brain recognizes a Porsche from 3 car lengths away not because you memorized the badge, but because you memorized the feeling. Mercedes-Benz plays this game differently. Look at an S-Class. The headlights are narrow but not aggressive, more like a confident, composed gaze. Mercedes wants you to read authority without threat because their core luxury buyer isn't chasing dominance. They're chasing status through composure. Compare that to a Ferrari, where every front fascia looks like it's mid-exhale, nostrils flared, ready to launch. Ferrari's psychological target isn't composure, it's adrenaline. Here's something most people completely miss. Color plays into this just as heavily as shape. Red intensifies perceived aggression and speed, which is exactly why it's the most iconic color for performance cars, from Ferrari to Alfa Romeo. Yellow signals energy and visibility, which is why Lamborghini leans on it so heavily for its most dramatic models. Meanwhile, muted blues and soft whites, common on Volvo and Genesis, read as calm and trustworthy. None of these color choices are random. They're chosen to reinforce the emotional identity the headlights and grille already established. So why would designers spend this much energy on something as small as headlight angle or grille width? Because in a crowded parking lot, a car has less than 2 seconds to communicate everything it wants you to feel. There's no time for a paragraph of marketing copy. There's only time for a face. And once that face triggers an emotional response, your brain has already made half its decision before you've read a single spec sheet. That's the hidden truth behind automotive design. It was never really about metal or headlights or grills. It's about emotion delivered instantly through shapes your brain was already wired to read. The next time a car passes you on the highway or sits parked outside a coffee shop, take a second look at its face. Notice whether it feels like it's challenging you or welcoming you. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every car on the road has been quietly performing an emotion this entire time, and now you're in on the secret. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, and let me know in the comments which automotive design mystery you'd like to see next.